So we all know the classic shepherd's pie, mincemeat with some potato on top. But did you know in Chile they also make their version of a shepherd's pie? It's called pastel de choclo. Choclo meaning corn. So instead of adding mashed potato to the top, they use corn as the topping, and it is a fantastic substitute because it gives it a really lovely sweet flavour. So we're going to start with the topping. I've got fresh corn here, so I've got about 6 kernels of corn that I've just taken off the cob. I'm going to just grab a knife and just cut the last ones off. The safest way to do it is just nick a little bit off the bottom, okay? And then you've got some stability with the corn. So put that into the bowl. If you don't have fresh corn or you happen to have some frozen corn in the freezer, use that. It works just as well. So you'll need about 6 cups of frozen corn for this recipe. All right, pop that to the side and we'll add this to the bowl. Now we want to blend this up before we start to cook this. So into a food processor, and just to ensure that it mixes quite well, I'll add a good splash of milk. Lid goes on, and I'm going to blend this until it's a rough puree. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Just want to show you the consistency of it. See how it's really broken down? I love that vibrant colour and it smells fantastic. This now goes into a saute pan. I've just got this on a medium heat to really accentuate the sweetness of the corn. I like to add some sugar, also a good knob of butter. We also need some salt, so a pinch of salt, and I'll give that a really good mix. We really want to cook this out until it thickens. So while that's happening, let's get on to the mince meat component. I've got some beef mince here. I'll add a good glug of extra virgin olive oil to a pan. And we'll start with the classic base, some onion and 2 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to roughly chop the garlic. It is going to cook down. So we'll just bruise that. If you wanted to stick to the traditional recipe, of course, you can poach some chicken and add that layer to it too. So in with the garlic, a pinch of salt. Now for the spices, we've got a combination of cumin and some paprika. I also like the addition of some dried oregano. We can add them just so they can toast off slightly. I think we're ready to add our beef mince. So just break it up. Don't forget to season, good pinch of salt and some freshly cracked pepper. We'll need about a cup of stock for this. So this is not a wet mince, it's actually quite dry. So you only need a cup of stock. I've got some hot water here and I'll add some stock powder. So we just want a small amount of that. That's also going to season our dish. We'll just stir that through. Okay, that's ready to go. Let's add our tomato paste. And we'll just stir that through the beef mince. And this is a really lovely touch to this dish. The addition of some sultanas or raisins, completely up to you. You need a handful of them. It's like a little surprise in with our stock. Pour that in, lid goes on. I'm going to cook this for about 15 minutes. Ideally, we want it to reduce and we want it to be a thick style sauce, so we don't want it to be too runny. So I'll just turn that down to a medium heat. Back over here to our corn. It's looking really good now, so I'll lower the heat. By the time that mince is ready, this corn topping will be ready too. All right, everything's ready to go now. You can see how thick our corn puree is, and this meat mixture just right, again, quite thick. So I'm going to add this to a gratin dish. Just pour that in. You want a medium-sized gratin dish. You don't want it to be too big or else you won't see the distinctive 2 layers. And traditionally, there are some olives in this. So I'm just going to dot this with some olives, spread them out. I'm going to add another key ingredient to this dish, which is some hard-boiled eggs. My Chilean friend says in Chile they love their meat and protein, and you can see this is a dish all about the protein here. We can add our corn puree over the top. Look at that vibrant colour, just love it. And spread that all the way to the side. I like to finish this off with some mozzarella cheese, just so we get a beautiful golden coloured top. And then it simply goes into a hot oven. I'm going to cook it for about 30 to 40 minutes or until it's golden brown. Pretty much everything is cooked. We're just trying to form a crust now. Well, how good does this corn pie look? I love the layers there. The corn has set, it's caramelised on the top. Let's have a little taste of this. Do let it sit for a moment before serving it, just so it settles. We'll pop that on there. I've got a little bit of egg. Take a little bit more of that meat and the olives on the side there. I like to garnish it with some parsley. That's certainly not your average shepherd's pie. I like how the Chileans make their pie. It looks great. That corn on top of it imparts this beautiful sweetness. The meat is so savoury with those salty olives, and then that pop of extra sweetness with the sultanas. This is a standout dish. If you love your shepherd's pie, you're going to love how the Chileans do it.